Welcome back to Sitting with Spirit, my loves. If you're new to the podcast, this is the part where I sit with our angels, our loved ones in spirit, and give the messages for the collective, take what resonates with you. And if the past loved one reading, if some of it resonates, but not all of it, know that it might be your past loved one sending little winks to you. They like to work together to give the evidence that the most people will understand. So that being said, I'm going to start with our angel reading portion. And the main message that I get right now is that it is time to be so real with ourselves in our life about what's working and what's not. And I felt like this was a big moment collectively of throat chakra upgrades. And it's like anything that you've been holding back, anything, Claire's laughing. She knows what I'm talking about, but I swear I wasn't thinking about you with this.
The message is always for me as well as everyone else.
Yeah. But there's just a big throat opening moment that especially, I know this is coming out the week of eclipse season. So especially in this moment of like big shifting energy, there is no more debating ourselves, playing judge and jury in our head over what our heart knows is true, because that energy gets lodged in our throat and we lose ourself and our truth and who we really are when we don't just be super radically honest with ourselves, when we aren't super radically honest with ourselves. And so I was seeing the judgment card from the tarot, and it's like, this is a time to trust your judgment, because you're going back and forth about things. You might be gaslit about things. You might be questioning things. You might be debating things. And the message right now is to trust your judgment, because we are in such a karmic moment of change, of up level. I saw my symbol of crossroads energy, of pressure cooker energy. It's like things can't stay the same the way they are. And chances are things have been building to this point. And if you can't be honest with yourself about it, it's going to get worse and worse and heavier and heavier until you finally just put the gavel down and say, I have to let go of this, or I have to make a new choice. And new energetic strategies is a big part of the message right now too. It's like really seeing what is draining you, what is taking away your life force, what is not sustainable, what needs to go, so that you can have the space and your angels and guides can fill it with something new and more aligned. And holding on so tightly to the things that are outdated is just going to make the process so much more unpleasant and heavy. Have faith through the up level, have faith through the growth, make that leap of faith, trust all of that. And it all comes down to the throat. And your angels are literally laughing right now and telling me they already know the answer. They don't need you to say this because they already know the answer. And now you just need to get that energy out of you and into the world and physicalize. And so what's really funny too is that your angels were showing me holding your hands through a time of transformation. Like I felt this like warmth in my hands. It was kind of a two-part message. One is it's like this reluctant feeling of like them leading you to what you know you need to do or to this like next thing, but you kind of feeling a little heavy or like your hands are tied or like you don't know how to move forward. And they're really saying like, we are just holding your hands through it. You're stronger than you realize. You have such a team of light around you, supporting you and guiding you. And they just want you to know that you're not alone. And so find the balance of working up your bravery to move forward with what you want to move forward in, but don't let it get to the point where you're stalling or you're getting heavy or you're waiting, because that's when things will start to feel out of alignment. And I believe that I said this on last week's Sitting with Spirit, and it's the same message this week of what needs to go will be more and more and more apparent. And if you can't cut cords with it or ties with it now, it will only get heavier and heavier. And that's when it starts to drain you. It's like, if we keep eating food that we're allergic to, after a while, it's on us if we get sick. So it's that same kind of thing. It's like, don't keep eating food you're allergic to. You know you're allergic to. And at a certain point, you have to take responsibility for yourself. So this is a big karmic crossroads moment, a big trusting yourself moment, a big grounding into your truth moment, a big moment of endings and deaths and rebirths and beginnings and just all of that. And the eye of the storm is trusting your judgment. Trust your judgment. I also got a really specific message. This is really specific, but for somebody out there who has been on a fertility journey, who's been questioning their fertility and like kind of having a difficult time, I felt a baby girl spirit baby saying that you would get pregnant around Thanksgiving. And I feel like you will have to know who you are when I say this. This is a very specific message, but there's something here about, I don't know if you have an IVF round that would be around that time or something like that, but they're saying very specifically like Thanksgiving baby. So I feel like that could be a double message of someone who's due on Thanksgiving, because they were definitely showing me Thanksgiving and family and turkey and pregnancy and spirit baby, and it felt like a girl. So there's something there about like stay in the love of the journey, stay in the trust, stay in the faith, something there about a Thanksgiving baby, and you'll know who it's for. And then with that, I was also hearing the name Ruby. So I just have to say that. So I want to go to the past loved one now. And I loved connecting with this past loved one. So the first thing that happened is I heard the song, "We All Live in a Yellow Submarine," a yellow submarine. And I felt like there was something here about like singing songs together, and immediately this spirit, which was a woman in spirit, which I couldn't tell her age or her relationship because she felt so youthful. Like she could have been a grandma, she could have been a girl. Like I genuinely don't know, but what I do know about this person is that she loved to have fun. She loved to have a lighter energy. She loved to take things as they came, and she was just pure light. And I felt like there was a connection there to like the Beatles, to singing together. And I'm not 100% sure about this, but I did get a feeling like she would have been in the UK. And then she was showing me a nail polish bottle, and I felt like nail polish, getting her nails done, or a signature color would have been significant to her, and that you guys loved singing together and you guys like had fun. And I just get this feeling with her energy that when you were going through a tough time or anything, like she was just pure sunshine in a bottle, and she was such an uplifting energy. And I feel like she's having a party in spirit. And I feel like there's something about karaoke together, like singing keeps coming up. And she was showing me a memory of roasting marshmallows and camping together. And then I saw a D name associated with her. So that could be her name or who it's for, a D name. And she was showing me that her symbol to you is a rainbow, and to pay attention to that, but that her message for the collective is that the rainbows always come out after the storm. And so I feel like there's a bigger message here of like life feels so intense right now and overwhelming, and there's so much going on, and a lot of people are on grief journeys, on endings, on transformations that feel uncertain. And this is just the most beautiful lady in spirit saying there's always a rainbow after the storm. And without the storm, there couldn't be a rainbow. It's like they go hand in hand. I have full chills as I'm saying that. And so she's saying like, I know that life can be really difficult. I know it's overwhelming to be a human, but as much as possible, enjoy the ride. And I feel like that's almost a tie to the baby for Thanksgiving as well, is like this moment is so easy to focus on what's overwhelming us, what isn't right, what isn't working. Stay in gratitude for what is as well, because that's like a very important emotion to bring us through this time. And so she's reminding me of a mediumship reading that I just had, where basically this mom was like acknowledging the grief that her family had on the other side for her, but she was with her dad in spirit, who was a real good time and a real party. And it's like our past loved ones are not suffering on the other side. Like they are in pure love, they're partying, they're having fun. And even though they literally died, their physical body, it's like then they're back to having a party and enjoying. And like there's something about resilience through the storms, of just letting yourself enjoy life, of letting yourself be a little bit lighter. And I think that's what they're getting at, is like this is a time where everything feels so life or death and stakes feel really high, and it's easy to believe that. But there's such a bigger energetic tapestry at play than we even realize. And there's just this spirit came through right away being like, be a little lighter. It's not as bad as you think. There's always a rainbow on the other side of the storm. So keep that faith. And what angels tell me about rainbow when I see it as a symbol is that they don't want life to be too one note. So when I see rainbow, the first message I got is that there's all of these colors for a reason. And if life is starting to get just to be red and orange, then it's time to explore a little more yellow and green. It's like there's a lot of colors for our enjoyment, and we can get so, and that's what I feel around the consciousness right now, is that we can get so pigeonholed on what's wrong, what isn't working, where we feel stuck, what we want more of, that we forget the 360 view of everything life has to offer us. We can get so attached to one idea of what success looks like, or a good life looks like, or comparing ourselves to others, that we forget the bigger picture of everything that life has to offer. And that's what this spirit feels like she was a master at, was taking things on the chin, having faith, and just saying life is too short not to have fun. Just like I say, life is too short not to be magical. It's like life is too short not to enjoy yourself, because at the end of the day, none of us know when the end of this ride is. And enjoy the time in the physical body, and don't make everything feel, don't let things feel like life or death, because oftentimes they're not. And there's always a rainbow at the end of the storm.
I love that. This year has been challenging for me in many ways, and it continues to be. I feel like right now is a particularly challenging moment. And it's so true. There couldn't be a rainbow without a storm. And even in our hard moments, I think, like, even the experience of needing to lean on someone and them being there for you is such a beautiful expression of love. And so even in the face of a difficult day, having someone who you can cry to or talk to or lean on, like, that is something to be grateful for. And you get to experience that because you need it. And so finding those things, even in the difficulty, that are things to be grateful for, and knowing, like you said, that a rainbow can be just around the corner. Some of the best things in my life came out of difficult endings. And so if something is ending in your life, or you're in a tough moment, just know that there's more ahead, and something so beautiful could be on its way to you right now.
Absolutely. I could not agree more. And yeah, the community, the leaning on people, it's just, yeah, it's so beautiful. And that's true love. And right now is a very karmic moment, meaning these are big times to embody who we came here to be, what we came here to do, and what we came here to learn. So they're particularly overwhelming because it's part of our soul purpose to step more into our power, to step more into our truth, to end toxic cycles of behavior, to show up in a more brave, empowered way, to go down a path of how we're actually meant to be of service. I mean, there's so many ways that this could translate, but there's an extra little something with the energy during eclipse season, especially because it's like the dance we've been doing with these people for so long, and it's not easy to break it or to learn a new dance. But that's the new version of self that is asking to be born, and that version of self is applauding you right along with your angels and guides as you step into becoming them. So don't be afraid to shed the ashes of what isn't working, because it's not working. And as I always say, it's death by 1,000 paper cuts, instead of just pulling the Band-Aid off and letting yourself fully heal.
Yes, I have to share that at the moment you said that's true love, it was 4:11, which is, I keep seeing like 3:11, 2:11. And at that exact moment, a text message from the person I was talking about that I've been leaning on popped up that said, I love you. You said, that's what true love is. And her text message goes, I love you. So anyway, I just had to share with the audience on a little miracle journal moment from me.
I love that. And that goes hand in hand with what I said on the September listener questions of when you speak something, your angels will support it and take the momentum and roll with it. So that's really beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Well, I hope these messages are helpful, sending so much love to the hummingbird community. Have a beautiful rest of your eclipse season. Take care of yourself, take care of your physical body. None of us are leaving this time period without being transformed in some way. So just lean in, let go, and let it ride. Have a beautiful week, my loves.